I have some audio problems here. No big whoop. Hello, welcome to the show. Welcome to the Canon. Happy to be here, Joe. Are you happy to be here? True or false?
True, man. I just got done a long weekend. Good long weekend. Those of you who know, I am a devout Magic the Gathering player of coming up close to 30 years at this point. Almost since it's been around. And the new Magic the Gathering set just dropped this weekend. And I had to play a tournament Friday, Saturday, and Sunday just to get my fill of the new set.
Because you don't have a lot of other things going on anyways, right? Nothing going on.
Yeah, I don't have a full-time job and a comic book
hobby that consumes you.
Hobby, I would call it a comic book empire.
Yeah, that's true, actually. I would say that too. So would your wife Shelby as well. She's saying hello to either the community or you. I cannot tell which one it is. I think it's the community. Real quick, this is bothering me right here. How dare I have a vacuum in the background? That's embarrassing. And there go my lights. Damn it!
Amateur hour here on Comic Book Canon, starring Jeffarius Bell.
Anyway, so that's it. All right, so again, we're just going to get right into it here. We did not have a show last week, as you all know. We lost a dear member of the community. We did not know him personally, but I will say this, and before Joe came on the show, this man pretty much was kind of a bit of an inspiration on how we wanted to craft something here. So, Gone Too Soon, TiVo from Lords of the Long Box. He was Lords of the Long Box. So we just want to mention that again. That's why we did not have a show, out of respect for the tribute to TiVo. Last week was at Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern. I know we're 8 p.m., but there was just made no sense to go live with our show right before. Again, rest in peace. Just a dear member of the community. Joe, do you have words?
Yeah, like Jeff said, we didn't know him personally, but had a couple friends that did know him personally, and you could tell he had an immense positive impact on the community. Anyone who's putting themselves out there and doing YouTube, doing shows, lives, community events and stuff like that. The vast majority of those people are doing positive things in the community and, trying to bring that community together, trying to encourage new people to come into the community. And, TiVo was certainly no exception for that. So definitely a huge loss. Young guy. Obviously this is a reminder to us all that, take your health into consideration and be careful. And that's it's sad, but the community is kind of in mourning here now. If you haven't had a chance, go back and watch on Lords of the Long Box YouTube channel the memorial show from last weekend, and if you want to get a better sense of who he was.
Yeah. So again, that's just reiterating why we did not have a show last week. So with that being said, we're just going to jump into the news with our, the Adam Schefter comic book canon. He spares no expense here for the wardrobe coming onto the canon, right? Am I right? Yes or no?
Listen, I'm here in just a t-shirt and my hat. You're here in a t-shirt and a hat. Josh, he puts himself together. He is a tie guy. He wants to look fashionable. He wants to look professional, and he really pulls it off. Let's check out this outfit for today.
It's definitely summer. Hey, Josh.
Hello, gentlemen. How are you doing tonight?
Good. How are you? What inspired you with the ensemble here?
To be honest, it's just lazy Sunday, and we got Canon, so no matter what, I could be sitting here topless wearing a tie. I'm just whatever I'm wearing at the time, and plus I want to show off the guns and everything. So.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's also summertime, and you're dressed appropriately. It's a very casual comic book Sunday for you. We appreciate, though, you snazzing it up with the silk tie.
Hey,
so we have some news. We're just going to jump into it. Lots of stuff going on that's kind of all over the place, but fun nonetheless.
We got 2 weeks of news to catch up, and unfortunately, we We couldn't even get everything in the news because there's so much. But
let's just do it. Let's just do it.
All right, let's start it off.
You started off. You call out what you're talking about because this is your segment. You are the editor-in-chief of the news. No, you are the editor of news.
Associate editor.
Joe's the editor-in-chief. You report to Joe. Joe has to sign off on business expenses such as traveling to around the world to talk to your sources because you can't do it online. You don't want the man or whoever it is hearing what you're talking about. So you always obviously have to meet in some location, some secret location. You are the insider that we have always been looking for. So let's get into it. What's going on?
All right, so I'm going to need your help pronouncing this gentleman's name because I'm not good with names. But
I got you. Hold on. Okay. Giancarlo Esposito.
Exactly. I'm not even try to pronounce that because I'm probably going to get it wrong. But he is a great actor who was in Breaking Bad, which I absolutely loved. He's had The Mandalorian. He's been in there as well. But we recently got some news and some on-set pictures. He is going to be making his appearance in Captain America: Brave New World. Now, it's said that his character is to be an agent of chaos. So I'm kind of like, at first glance from this picture right here, I'm thinking he looks like Blade. Oh. I don't know about you guys. Now, I don't think, and I can confirm he's not Blade. That's been rumored, but I know he's definitely not going to be Blade. But my first thought was he looks kind of like Blade. I mean,
I see
an older version. You know what I'm saying? And so I don't know how to take this news because there's speculation that he's an original character, but somebody who has not been portrayed before in the MCU. And there's a couple different theories out there, but one that I'm kind of thinking about is Norman Osborn.
Ooh, okay.
Yo, I love that. And I said that jokingly a while ago. I was like, yeah, he's got the same hair as Norman Osborn. He's got the waves going on. And that would be pretty cool.
That would be very cool.
Think about this, though.
That would be very cool and kind of a place that you wouldn't expect for Norman Osborn to make his MCU debut. Am I correct? But out of left field, I think it's pretty cool.
Well, so he also said that he's making his first appearance in the film, and then afterwards his character will be appearing in a show.
Yep.
Now, I'm thinking in my mind, okay, so what shows that we know are coming out in the next few years? Now, I'm going back to Norman Osborn here. We know that Spider-Man is getting an animated show.
True.
We know that Norman Osborn will be on the show.
Ooh.
There has just been no casting news for who's going to be portraying as him. And there hasn't been no pictures or anything. So I'm thinking maybe this is going to be, obviously a different version of Norman that we kind of have seen but haven't. But knowing that, Thunder Ross is going to be president possibly in this film or running for president. And then, the whole Dark Avengers storyline's possible. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens in this movie.
For sure.
But it could also be bad. It could also be a character that we've never heard of.
But time out. He's a fantastic actor, and that's something that that the MCU has done a great job with overall. I would say they hit 85% of the time, which is great. A great clip right there for sure. So Giancarlo being in the MCU is a good thing. Who knows who he's playing? But I think it's going to be exciting nonetheless to know that this caliber of actor is part of the MCU moving forward. So very exciting things. I had something to comment on here. I cannot remember. Oh, by the way, yes, I brought this up earlier. Spider-Dude, his first movie was in Trading Places in Jail with Eddie Murphy. He was also in Do the Right Thing as well. The guy that, he had his sneak stepped on. Just a fantastic actor who's been around for so long. But I feel he really made his presence known in Breaking Bad, for sure. There was an earlier moment where he kind of had a breakout moment. Let me know, but that's the first place I noticed him. So Breaking Bad for sure. All right, Joshua, we have our next news story, which is
I'm so excited to announce this, and I'm a Batman fan all day, but we recently just got news that DC Comics has announced a Batman The Long Halloween, The Last Halloween. It's going to be a 10-issue series by writer Jeff Loeb and a rotating cast of artists. Now, this was originally supposed to come out in 2021 or 22, but Tim Sale unfortunately passed away. I can confirm that I believe the issue we have right there, he's going to at least do the cover, or he had the cover drawn for issue number 1.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sad because, like, what these gentlemen did for The Long Halloween, and this is also going to be a conclusion in a trilogy. So you had The Long Halloween, then you had Dark Victory, which is a 13-issue series, which is great, and this is going to be the final follow-up to that story. And I can't wait. The Long Halloween is one of those runs of Batman that every collector should own, in my opinion. Some first appearances, great covers. It features every holiday in a whole calendar year. But knowing that Tim won't be there to do all the covers or, art, it hurts. But, they said ultimately they felt like it was the time now to do it and honor him, and Tim would want it to happen. So I'm very excited for this.
Yeah, that's well done the way they approached it, for sure. And his art is messy. He definitely has made an impact in the community, in just collecting, the comics he's worked on. So I'm excited for this as well. But it's seen as a trilogy, and this is the finality here of the whole trilogy.
Yes. They also confirmed that we are going to finally get the reveal of who the Holiday Killer is. Now, I think it's revealed already in the animated movies, possibly.
Yeah, which, by the way, the Long Halloween movie, it's good, but reading the comic, if you enjoyed the movie, read the comic. The comic is much, much better.
100%.
Well, it's still exciting news nonetheless. That came out. That's supposed to be on last week's show, but it's definitely worth noting this week. Another thing that's worth noting, or maybe not worth noting, but we're going to note it, Josh, is what?
So we're going to note that D23 is happening in August 9th, 10th, and 11th. Now, I can confirm some big announcements are going to be in the pipeline for that. Expect some trailers, possibly even the first trailer for Captain America: Brave New World. I'm hearing Daredevil will be having a small clip shown from the show. Whether that will be released or not, we'll have to see. But they're also going to be announcing some big films that are coming up, some stuff that I'm excited for, and that's something that I'm going to save for rumors next week. So if you want to learn...
I'm sorry, I cut you off. Go ahead, Josh. I'm sorry.
So if you want to know what those possible films are and what's possibly coming to D23, subscribe, like, and come back to Comic Book Canon next weekend.
For sure. You should be subscribing and liking anyways. We have 21 million people currently watching. It's a nice showing for a Sunday. Kind of not officially summer, but we're past Labor Day or Memorial Day, so technically, actually unofficially it's summer. But with that said, Josh will get into rumors, but Josh will avoid spoilers as much as possible. And you need to follow Josh's YouTube link down below because he will be following up on those who do want spoilers. You need to watch Josh's channel. But I'm sorry. I queued you up for something completely different. I want to know what the hell is going on in D23. I'm excited about D23. There's a news piece that is less exciting. Josh, what is it?
Well, if I'm reading right, it's the Venom trailer. So Venom 3 trailer was finally released, and I have a confession to make to you both. I've never seen the first 2 films.
Oh, God.
And
what?
I'm going to probably skip out on this until maybe it comes out on, Disney Plus or something. I'm not a big Venom guy. I do love Tom Hardy, though. But I've heard, the movies are just all not that good. And in my personal opinion, the trailer, I just don't, it looks like another Sony bomb to me, in my opinion. I just don't see it.
We all got thoughts. Joe, how about you?
So this is what I think. I mean, in my opinion, hands down, the best Sonyverse movie other than the Spider-Man movies. You know, obviously the Spider-Man movies are kind of top dog, but all of these offshoot movies we're getting, the two Venom movies plus the third one coming out, Madam Web, Morbius, we've got Craven coming soon. Venom 1 is the best one, and I think it's actually a good movie. It's a solid like B minus movie. I was entertained. I wasn't blown away, but I liked the movie. The second one was a pretty big letdown, especially to flop on Carnage that hard. That being said, the third trailer, it leaves so much to be desired. That's the only way that I can put it. This is just my opinion. You know, go see the movie. I'm not telling you not to see it. I'm going to see it opening night because that's just what I do. But I do not have very high hopes, and I hope those not very high hopes are, met with surprise. You know, that was kind of the deal with me and Madam Web. I went in with such massively low expectations that the bad movie that it was actually better than I thought it was going to be.
Joe, that movie is free on Netflix, and I still will not watch it.
Yeah. Hey,
that's how bad.
Right. I do advise Josh. I know you're not a big Spider-Man or Venom guy, but watch the first movie. It's a solid movie, good action. Tom Hardy does a great job, and the dynamic between Venom and Eddie is pretty fun. But yeah, I'm not stoked about this movie. I will say one thing: Venom Horse is kind of funny. That's about it.
Here's the deal. I'll agree with you completely that out of all of the Sony Spider-Verse movies, not the Spider-Man like the Raimi or even the Andrew Garfield ones, Venom is the best out of all of them, the first Venom. However, that movie isn't that good. It's entertaining at best, in my opinion, but not good. The sequel, the Carnage one, was horrible. This one goes, it leaves a lot desired, I think is how you describe it. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. I do love the character Venom. I think Tom Hardy is an incredible actor, and watching him in this trailer, it's just like, what the hell are you doing? This. I mean, come on. And everybody's looking for the Venom Horse first appearance, by the way, in comic books, just to make sure they get that in the PC. It's just Sony. And mind you, Josh, we spoke about this all the time. Or we spoke about this. We still have a Craven movie coming.
Yeah. Nobody probably knows that's coming out anyway. I mean, it's pushed back so much,
Right. I mean, it's diluting the Marvel brand. Let's just say that it is diluting the Marvel brand. It's really, I'm sure it's frustrating for all the execs at the MCU. Like, this is just not a good look for us, and there's nothing we can do about it.
Right.
So, yeah.
And one of the big problems is that, the casual viewer can't really, I shouldn't say can. A large portion of the casual viewers don't decipher the difference between the MCU and the Sonyverse. They're just like, oh, comic book movie, Marvel movie, whatever. And they don't realize that the MCU is all intertwined, especially with the ambiguity of there being references to the MCU in Sonyverse movies.
100%. And there's even the scene from the end of, was it I don't know which movie it was. Oh no, I guess it was the second Carnage where he's in a bar.
Yep. Yeah, the end of Morbius with Michael Keaton.
Was that No Way Home? That you see?
No Way Home was they were at the bar.
Yeah,
and then they get sucked back in. But Morbius, the villain with Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
And it's funny, Michael Keaton even asked him why he was in the movie for that scene, and they're like, "Well, we have no, we can't tell you. It's it's a secret." And he's like, "All right, well, as long as you're paying me, I guess I'll show up and play the role." But he had no idea why he was even involved.
That was like horrible. However, the No Way Home, they did that scene in the bar. There's a scene in the trailer that's the same bar.
Yep.
But that's the thing I was going to point out. I think Sony kind of ruined it now because in the trailer, you see that same scene kind of. It looks like the bar is a bit different, but it looks like the guy who's sitting next to who's about to touch the the goo is another, the same actor but looks different, and then they capture it. So now it's like it doesn't make any sense. I don't think Sony was talking to Marvel about any of this, and I don't. I think like you can't have. I can't even say what I want to say because there'll be more rumors next week for Spider-Man 4, but it's not going to end well. I don't think. I'm glad this is the last dance, the last Venom movie, because I think the Sony universe needs to end.
I would not be so sure. Yeah, Sony needs to just give it up. By the way, my fiance is laughing either at me, Josh, Joe, or us as a collective, I think. Please.
Probably you.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. I still love her, though. It's fine.
Probably because you left a vacuum in the background.
I don't know. She may have joined the show late. All right, moving on, though. This I enjoy talking about right here. The next thing that you are going to bring up, Josh. I don't know, Joe. We haven't spoken. It's been a busy 2 weeks for all of us here, the three of us.
But wait, has everybody seen the first 2 episodes?
Yeah. Let's just get into it.
All right. The Athlete released, the first 2 episodes released last week. And I'm going to be honest, so far from what I've seen, I'm liking it. I'm okay with it. I felt like I'm a little bit disappointed with a certain character that I thought was going to be in there more, and they're not. But, other than that, I'm liking the show so far. I love seeing multiple Jedis and lightsabers. I'm tired of having one-on-one fights. I want to see multiple clashes and battles, and I'm just enjoying the show.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it thoroughly. I think the first 2 episodes were excellent. It's not the I would think it was tabbed as kind of a murder mystery, and it's not the mystery you thought it would be. Right. The mystery is behind what's happening, which is really cool. The character you're referencing will be back, I think, in flashback scenes. But I'm really enjoying it. I've seen actually pictures of that character back in flashback scenes. So
I know it's just.
All right. Well, either way, I'm loving what I'm seeing. I think it's very fresh. It's a fresh take because there are going to be no previous characters that were in any other Star Wars shows or movies. So that's fun too. Joe, sorry, I cut you off.
You didn't cut me off. You were saying all your words, and now I'm going to say all my words.
Go for it.
You stay over there. Anyway, I'm loving it. I mean, we're 2 episodes in. It's got that, kind of what you said, that mystery feel to it. A little bit different than a lot of Star Wars stuff, but with all that core, Star Wars feel good excitement that we get every time, a new good Star Wars thing drops, which honestly, the shows have really all been solid. There have been some stinkers of movies, but I think they've done a good job. Probably Boba Fett was my least favorite, and I still liked it. That being said, I love that we are back in a time, prior to the Empire, prior to the Republic. We're seeing this is, as far as live action, the oldest Star Wars that we have yet seen. So I'm really excited about that. I have read a bunch of the High Republic comics, which is that's this time period, the High Republic. In fact, one of the main characters in the comic is Vernestra Rowe, who is in the show. Yep. One thing that I also love about it, and this is a little kind of crossover into the comic side of things, the other comic side of things, Marvel side of things is what I'm saying, is Daphne Keane is in the show. Yeah. And she portrayed X-23 in Logan, and fingers crossed she's going to be picking that mantle back up again in Wolverine and Deadpool, or Deadpool and Wolverine. I think it's Deadpool Wolverine first. So I'm glad, because I haven't really seen her in anything. I know she's in like a show, but it's not a show that I watch. So I don't think I've seen her in anything else. And she plays a very different character, going from this like spunky, really like energetic and loud, violent character to like a very subdued and calm Jedi who like asks for permission to talk. It just shows the range.
Very analytical in the approach. Yes.
Really stoked about her portrayal in this. And I can't wait to see more. I do have a friend who was able to watch the first half of the show. He had like a press pass or something, and he says he's loving it. So I can't wait to see more.
Yeah, absolutely. Episode 4 apparently is a big cliffhanger, so excited for more as well. Josh, we are coming to the end of your news segment. However, you are standing in for a certain Judge De La Torre who is actually moving today. Everybody give him props. Hopefully he does not pull any muscles in his back. It's you gotta, Dan, you gotta lift with your legs, buddy. Lift with your legs. He knows that though. So Josh, you will be back later in the show to help us kind of shuffle through the Fresh from the Comic Shop submissions the past 2 weeks. We are excited to have you back. You are part of the show. You are part of the Canon crew. So Josh, until then, stay at that news desk. Anything comes in to report, you let us know. Ring the bell. We'll bring you back in.
I'll be on standby, gentlemen.
We will see you soon, sir. Damn, he's so well dressed. I bet you he smells good too. What do you think?
1000%. I've hung out with Josh a lot. It is just a hint of lavender, and it's like a spring day. Anytime
Josh does not use that Axe body spray, not at all. He's definitely rubbing lavender all over himself. So that's for sure. All right, listen. Here's the deal. This is all about the community comic book canon. We love the community. Comic book canon is the community. We are going to be asking you guys to send your questions for Ask Joe. Jeff, very shortly, but we want to get into a few things about the community and who's here right now. If you have not liked and subscribed yet, please do so as we get into saying hello to everybody else. Josh actually uses Old Spice. I mean, that's lavender-ish, maybe.
No.
I don't know. Caleb thinks he smells like pie. Tell us what pie that would be. I'm very curious as to that. We got Goonish Lurker in the house. Comic Toby in the house as well, who has not moved in 25 years. I hope it's not sitting on a couch for the past 25 years. You got to move your body, buddy. You got to move. Who else do we have? We got, I said Goonish Lurker. We got Paradise Comics. Accolade is great with fires burning and smoking in space. Look, just spend your, just enjoy it for what it is, please. Raw Dog Comics is loving the Accolade as well. As I said, the love of my life, Alicia Jardine is in the house. Who else do we have? Alexia George, who's I'm not sure if that's sarcasm or not, but that's fine.
It's the truth. It was the best thing about that trailer by
this
far.
Was me like, oh, okay, that's gonna happen. Sure. Brian Klotz loves the fact that Josh is rocking that tank top. But we got Bond.
Oh, Bond.
I don't know what this is here. I Street first. I don't know, but either way, it's great. No matter what, it's leaving us in suspense. Please clarify if you can. Dan De La Torre is not here, but he does not watch those Venom movies at all. We got T-Shoe in the house. We got Nukes Comics in the house. Sun's out, guns out. That is a tribute to our good friend Joshua. Dr. Plagueis in the house. You'll be seeing an On the Hunt from Dr. Plagueis in a few minutes here. We have Frost Behemoth. I'm not sure who this is in reference to. They should slide him in as a replacement of King the Conqueror. I don't remember what we're
Giancarlo Esposito.
Oh, God. He would be amazing. That would be amazing. Spider Dude, our proud partner for Fresh from the Comic Shop, as well as EGS in the house. By the way, we're going to be showing off that new June book, our book of the month for June.
Oh, it's good.
It looks awesome. Broke Boy Comics. I love the name. What's up, Broke Boy? How are you? Nikita Kare. Dr. Frankenstein is in the house. Immortal Scruffy is in the house from Canada right up there. Who else? T-Shoe calling us skackers. I think slackers is what you wanted to say. Definitely slackers on our part. No doubt about that. Kaboom Comics in the house as well. Kaboom Comics was in the finals, so we're gonna announce who won that May book of the month. Who else? No, Alexia George is serious. The Venom horse will be the best part. Only time will tell, but I think that movie's gonna suck. Josh prefers pumpkin pie. Caleb says blueberry. I will absolutely choose blueberry over pumpkin any day of the week. All right.
I'm an apple guy.
Oh, apple's the best, though. If I have to choose between blueberry and pumpkin, I'm choosing blueberry. You throw apple in the mix out of all three,
mm-hmm.
apple desserts in general.
I'm
Love 'em.
choosing pumpkin over blueberry all day.
Are you choosing pumpkin over apple?
No, but it's by a very small margin. Apple slightly above pumpkin, both of them significantly above blueberry.
Okay, I'm going to ask you one more question about pumpkin pie. Is it a kind of a Thanksgiving thing or an all year thing?
Literally, I could eat pumpkin pie right now.
All right.
So it's all year.
Shelby, please have him a slice of pumpkin pie once with milk, right?
Not necessarily. I don't really drink milk by itself. I'm a water guy.
Okay, that's fine. Either way, I'm glad I got to. I'm hot pie takes happening. That's a fact. I'm glad I'm getting to know you better on the Canon. And we do something here to get to know people better as well. It's called the popcorn. What we do is we ask all of you fine people to tell us about yourself. There's a few questions we ask of you. In any post about popcorn, say you're interested in being part of the popcorn. The popcorn is basically referring to a corporate slang where you popcorn around the room where, hey, my name's Jeff and I like apple pie. Let me popcorn over to Joe, and then et cetera, et cetera. So it's kind of the same thing that we're doing here. Tell us about yourself. Let's get to know the community a little bit better. And this week we had, who did we have? We had somebody popcorn over to Goonish Lurker, and it was,
Jordan Norrie.
Jordan Norrie. So Goonish Lurker, tell us about yourself.
Comic book canon. Trevor here, aka Goonish Lurker, coming at you live from Breckenridge, Colorado. Although I live in Arvada, my first comic was actually two comics: Star Wars #7 and Raiders of the Lost Ark #1, which I got about 28 years ago. They're still in my collection after all this time. A fun fact about me is recently I got to do a screening of The Room and co-host it with Greg Sestero. We got to riff over it the whole movie. It was a great time. I got to make him laugh a few times. It was just amazing. What I like about the comic book community is the community itself, people sharing their new pickups, whether they're brand new books, old books, new story arcs, a book from their favorite artist or their favorite writer, the smell of old books. I'm nominating Caleb Leland for the next popcorn session. You hear me, Caleb? I'm calling you out, buddy. I'll see you guys next time.
All right, Caleb, the popcorn is in your hand. I'm not sure if that's a terminology we're going to be using, but it sounded great. Caleb, we need to have you. Tell us about yourself. We will send you instructions in the mail, aka the Instagram.
Speaking of popcorn, did everyone see the Wolverine popcorn bucket for the Deadpool movie?
Oh, we should have touched upon that. Please tell us.
Next week, have that up for popcorn because that's it's funny. Ryan Reynolds is
they're really taking it and running with it. So yes, we love that segment too. We love getting to know all you people in many different ways throughout the show. It's all about the community. So yeah, for sure. All right, so now is the time you should be putting questions in for a segment that we do. I don't see any questions, Joe. So should we run another video here?
Yeah, why don't we do that? Let's everyone, if you have a question, put it in the chat for the Ask Joe session. It can be about comics. It could not be about comics. If you want to,
Life advice
ask me about
with Ask
anything,
Joe.
I don't care.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, we're going to be going into that segment in just a second. Why don't you run the On the Hunt video that we have? Because we did have a submission for On the Hunt. Don't forget, you can submit these by sending us on Instagram via DM. Send us a On the Hunt video to Comic Book Canon, and we'll put it on the show. But we have one from basically the co-founder of On the Hunt, one of the people that kind of sparked the idea here, or actually the person who sparked the idea here, Dr. Plagueis.
Dr. Plagueis. I loved it, man. Again, Dr. Plagueis wrote the template for On the Hunt. And yeah, follow the template right there. Do not send us anything with music that is not clear. Do not send us anything with like Lady Gaga or something like that. Like literally, it has to be rights-free music because we cannot play it if it's not. So, but yeah, for sure, Josh, our editor of Comic Book Canon News here. That's how you do On the Hunt. He's the guy that did it. All right, here we go. We got some questions. Very happy, excited to get into it for Ask Joe and Jeff, but we can't do it unless we get into this.
Ask Joe and Jeff.
And Jeff.
And me. Yes, that's right. It's Ask Joe and Jeff. You send in the questions. We answer them. Again, it could be anything comic related, life advice, or I was going to say politics. I was like, no, we're not doing politics. So yeah, anyways, let's just get right into it. Alexia George, current favorite series to read.
So I'm going to be super biased with my answer here. And I'm also being a little bit, it's not completely current because it did wrap up after only 5 issues. But I got to go with the Uncanny Spider-Man because it was a hybrid of my 2 favorite characters, Spider-Man and Nightcrawler. Very cool take on the character. You know, it's almost like a kind of a what if story. It's always cool when Marvel, DC, or any comic book, company goes out of the regular continuity and gives us a different take on things. I think that's really refreshing. And some of the greatest stories of all time, Frank Miller's Dark Knight is, non-canonical. And I think that, that opens up a lot of opportunities in comics to really expand on these characters. And I highly recommend that one. It was a solid read. It's only 5 issues, like I said, and you can probably get them in your LCS's like 50% off back issue bins. They're not like keys or anything like that. So see if you can find them.
That's a good answer, actually. Joe, and actually Nuke's Comics, probably, you guys know me so well, so you know my answer. My current favorite series to read is...
Oh, yours? It's Void Rivals.
You got that right. I'm loving Void Rivals, and also, I guess, just throw in all of the Transformers G.I. Joe stuff. That is absolutely my favorite. One of the things I am most excited to read. Second closest to that, though, is Ghost Machine from Image. The Jeff Johns series with Geiger, Redcoat, Rook. Those are some really good reads as well. Highly, highly recommend that. All right, moving on. We got Brian Klotz. Ask Joe and Jeff, do you care about all of the recent hubbub, great word, by the way, about 9.9s and 10s, or is it just not something mainstream collectors pay attention to? Just curious how you react to the latest grading drama.
Yeah, Brian, this is a really great question because this has been coming up a lot, and we obviously can't dive into everything going on in comics. We try to keep this pretty informational as well as fun and community based. But these questions are important, so great job with this one. It really is going to depend. We don't have enough of a sample size to really tell. Certainly, there have been more 9.9s graded recently than last year. Does that mean that more books are getting graded? Prices have stabilized, and companies are sending in more books to get graded. Are comic book publishers printing stuff on higher quality paper? There's a lot of cardstock covers, foil covers. Those are easy to get 9.9s and 10s. Are those coming out? The big change with the books. What's really going to be the thing is if we see a large rise in the number of 9.9s and 10s on older books. I'm talking, let's say 90s and before. I'm just going to exclude the 2000s because they've, like I said, they have cardstock covers, they have foil covers, all that stuff. Are we going to see a large rise in 9.9s and 10s on books that maybe there were none of before? One that we I have an example of is first Harley Quinn, Batman Adventures 12. Me and Jim from Bronzeville Comics have been talking about this since this whole 9-9 thing. There are 0 9-9s, 0 10s of that book. And that book's been submitted for a couple decades at this point, over 20 years that CGC has been around. If we see 3 pop up in the next year, that's pretty suspicious, if you ask me. If we see 1 pop up, okay, maybe it's a it's a fluke, but I think we have to look at the larger population of comics. Personally, I don't give a crap if people are getting 9-9s and 10s on modern books with foil covers, square bound books, cardstock covers, and stuff like that. Those are easier to get 9-9s and 10s on, and I don't personally care about those or collect those books. I read modern books as they come out, but that's not really what I collect. So I don't think 9-9 is the new 10, or a 9-9 is the new 9-8. People have been saying that, but people have been saying that for a while. Like it's not a new thing that people have been kind of pushing this narrative that CGC is going easier on 9-8s and they're starting to give more 9-9s. Maybe they are. The data will tell us over the next couple years. We don't have enough data yet to make that assumption.
You brought this up weeks ago, and I like how that you keep an eye on those things, and then you're going to know what course CGC is going and how they're approaching things. So yeah, but for me personally, I don't even bother with it. 9-9s or 10s. It doesn't bother me one bit because as I've stated a few times, I don't really go out looking for graded books. If there's a great deal, I will get graded books. I do collect them if there's a great deal, and I've gotten some amazing deals as well.
Yeah,
but like I'm not out there actively searching graded books. So for sure, I'm not searching for 9-9s or 10s or having any of my books sent in to get 9-9s and 10s. It's just not something for me. Not to say it's wrong, not to say it's going to ruin the whole industry or what have you, but it's just, I am interested though in what Joe says. Again, watch the data, see what happens in the next year or two.
Sure.
And that's all we can do right now. All right, we're going to move on to the next question. But before we do, like and subscribe if you haven't already. We got Goonish Lurker. What was the best card you got from the pre-release this weekend? Oh, that's got to be Magic, right?
It's a Magic one, yeah. It's actually funny. So I mentioned I played 3 pre-release tournaments this weekend. For those of you who don't know how Magic works, when a new set comes out, the weekend that it comes out, they do tournaments for that set. And you don't bring your own deck. You show up, they give you 6 packs of the new cards, you open them, and you build a deck out of whatever you have there. And that is my personal favorite way to play. It's called limited play rather than constructed, where you bring your own deck. But I played 3 limited tournaments this weekend. The best card that I opened is this god card called Flage. I opened it both Friday and today, and I did not play it either day. The reason being is I didn't have the support. It's very color intensive. You have to play pretty heavy white and red, and I just never had the support for that. So I didn't play that card either day, but that was probably the best thing I got. As far as like value wise, I did open a foil Wooded Foothills. That would be the most expensive card. Jeff, that's a fetch land, if you didn't know.
Yeah, the old fetch land. Oh, yeah.
The good old fetch land. But yeah, that was, I had fun, though. I played some really cool decks. Friday, actually, for the first time. Bro.
Sorry.
Don't cup the mic. I'm gonna tell on you to our audio guy. What was I gonna say? You ruined my train of thought.
Dr. Plague has hit it. I mean, right on the head, right there. And Mark is saying the same thing.
Yeah, translate. Sorry. Yeah, I had fun. It was a good weekend. Thanks.
Good. I don't want to diminish that. I don't know. I just couldn't help myself. I'm so sorry. That was absolutely rude. But I guess I ruined it for everybody and for Goonish who asked. Caleb Leland, very good question here. Ask Joe and Jeff, pie versus cake, discuss. It's a hard one for me.
I want to say pie most of the time. I'm not a huge like sweets guy. I'm more like decadence, and I think you get that more with pie. just the flavors of the fruit, or whatever you make the pie with, rather than the cake is just mostly sugar.
Okay. This is so tough for me because you can get super creative with cakes, and I've had some fun cakes. There's just something about like a warm apple pie, especially during the fall, that just I apple desserts are my favorite desserts. I have to go pie. I have to go pie.
Okay.
The cake. I mean, it's really hard. I love me some cake too. So, all right, we're gonna get into a live question here with our Adam Schefter of Comic Book Canon, and his name is Joshua. Joshua, you have a live question. Go for it.
That's right, I do. So, I got to know from both of you. This is an Ask Jeff and Ask Joe, but it should actually be Ask Joe and then Jeff, because Jeff's a little bit less important than Joe.
My mom would not agree with that, but go ahead.
But anyway, so gentlemen, my question for you is this. You can pick one Marvel character, one DC character, and one indie character to protect you. Everyone else from all three universes are trying to kill you. Who are you picking?
Oh man, I've seen some of these before where they give you like 9 characters and they're like 3 of them are gonna kill you, 6 of them are gonna kill you. You have to
now
pick
remember
3
all villains from the indie world, DC and Marvel world are coming after you. So you got to pick
So we
one
can
of
pick villains to protect us.
No, he's saying everyone from those worlds are coming at us.
Okay, I tell you what. Hold on. Let's re-switch that question up because Jeff makes a good point. You can pick either a hero or a villain to protect you. It's got to be one DC, one Marvel, and one indie character. But everybody else that are villains in those separate universes are coming after you to kill you.
Oh boy!
So go to town. Let me know.
I got it.
All right. Well, the DC one is, in my opinion, obvious, and maybe I don't know enough about DC, but I'm going to be picking Superman, the OPOG for DC. For Marvel, since Superman is super powered, I'm going to go with a different kind of character. I'm going to go Scarlet Witch from Marvel, because not only is she mega powerful, but her stuff is magic. Very different than Superman's, strength and physical ability and stuff like that. So we got Wanda, we got Clark. As far as indie comics, I mean, there's not a lot of indie hero stuff that I've read, but I think I'm gonna go Omni-Man because of how freaking badass that dude is. So yeah, Omni-Man, Superman,
version of Superman.
Yeah, exactly. Plus, he's got a cool mustache, so that just tops it off. Jeff, over to you.
I think you're not thinking big enough here, Joe.
Oh, yeah?
I think I would take the Beyonder.
Okay.
I would take the Anti-Monitor.
Okay, I see what you're doing here.
And I don't know who's as omnipotent as those two are in the indie world, so why the hell not go Optimus Prime?
Okay, all right. Optimus Prime. Interesting.
I think I feel way more safe than I would if Scarlet Witch can do some things, I'd say.
Yeah.
Omni-Man, I think I don't know. Anyways, but I like Josh. Now for you, we're flipping this around. Whose answer do you like better?
Ooh.
I mean, look, you both picked great choices, and I can see from each different viewpoint.
He doesn't want to hurt feelings. He's caught in the middle. We should not have done
this.
Yeah,
it's just hard because I'm thinking
in front of 23 million people, we should not have done this.
I'm thinking, look, either Joe's people can fly, but then again, you guys can fly too. So it's like, it's hard to pick. I'm gonna have to say I've got to go with Joe, and not because I don't love you, Jeff. Listen, the thing is, your Autobots in disguise, whatever it is, how you say, it can be destroyed. I mean, you guys, like, listen. Look.
Optimus Prime I just did for the cool points, but like Beyonder and Anti-Monitor can bend time in reality and stuff like that. Like, great. What's he gonna do to the Beyonder?
Okay, but let me ask you something. If those two end up getting hit with a RPG or a nuclear warhead, are they gonna survive it?
Yeah.
Yes. Probably.
Yeah, they'd be okay.
Yeah, you went. See, I'm
right,
not a
look.
huge cosmic guy, so
Look, you know
it makes sense that you went that way and I didn't.
I'm gonna put it's a tie. I think
He has to say that.
Yeah.
He has to say that. He just does not feel good about himself. Thank you, Mike, for sticking up for me. At least one person does.
I will say this. You want to know who I would pick?
Yeah, actually, yeah.
All right. I'm gonna be honest with you. I just need one hero.
Go.
Batman.
I knew he was going to say that.
Yeah. Give him prep time. I don't have to worry about
He'll
nothing.
work it out. He did go up against Anti-Monitor in some way, but yeah, okay. All right, Josh, thank you so much. You'll be back for Fresh from the Comic Shop as our interim judge. You don't have the degree.
We're
Anyways,
supposed to come up with a name for it, but yeah.
Yeah, the interim judge. That's fine. All right, we'll see Josh back in a little bit, but we got a ton of other questions to ask. Where did all of them go? I feel like
I took off all the ones we did already.
Oh, okay. So here we go. Dear Joe, is it true people be selling all of their comic books for only 10 cents each?
So 10 cents is kind of the standard like bulk buy rate. This is like junk that no one wants. You know, a lot of dealers, vendors, stores, if they buy bulk, will buy them at 10 cents a piece. That is kind of the minimum I go. So if someone brings me a long box that is just absolute complete junk, about 10 cents a book is where I want to be, which ends up for a long box is about 250 books, $25 a long box. That's obviously a very low amount of money. The better stuff that's in there, the more you can pay. So yeah, some people do sell for 10 cents a book if it's, the junk of the junk.
Yeah, people do. Yeah, especially in bulk for sure.
Yeah.
Good question though. Good question. Nukes, who will win this year's NBA Finals? I don't know if you want to take me this first here. You want me to take it first?
What team is Luka on?
Dallas.
Okay, yeah, Mavs. I'll go with Mavs.
I would like for the Mavs to win. However, it pains me to say, as a Sixers fan, the Celtics are a really strong team this year. And
who's on the? I watch very little basketball. I know about like top players and stuff. Who's on?
Jason
Celtics?
Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Porzingis, Jrue Holiday. They got a really nice team with a lot of experience.
Solid four right there.
Yeah. So I'm not sure who their other power forward is, but it pains me to say, and the fact that we could have had, as Sixers, could have had Jason Tatum instead of Markelle Fultz, it's just so I think Nukes. Let us know who you think is going to win, but I think it's going to be the Celtics. Unfortunately, here's another great question. Love the food questions. Keep them coming in. Mike Haggs asked Joe and Jeff, do you go vanilla ice cream on your pie or homemade whipped cream? There's one answer for me, Joe.
I think I prefer whipped cream. Don't look at me like that.
Yo, there's nothing better than having vanilla ice cream on top of your apple pie.
I don't know. I think I prefer whipped cream.
All right, you know what? You're entitled to that. But I think we both can agree on this. Putting American cheese on top of your apple pie is blasphemy. People do that. I don't know if you ever heard of that.
No, they don't.
That is a thing. Everybody confirm that in the chat. People put American cheese on their apple pie, just like you would.
Lying.
I'm not lying. It's a thing. I swear to God. Disgusting.
American, like sliced American Kraft Singles cheese.
Or maybe it's cheddar. I can't remember which cheese it is.
Any kind of cheese. That doesn't belong on apple pie.
All right. Caleb confirmed it's cheddar cheese.
That's wild.
Not American. Yep. And Mike confirmed too. Now, do either of you two eat that? Because, wow. Anyways, we're going to move on from that. But it's vanilla ice cream for me all day. Brian Kloss, ask Joe and Jeff, any regional cons coming up that you are excited about?
Baltimore is like my favorite con every year. It's not till the fall, so we're pretty far off from that. I may or may not go to Terrificon. I have not made the decision yet. If I do, it will likely be a Saturday day trip, just one day, one and done.
The Connecticut show, right?
Yeah, that's Connecticut up at Mohegan Sun, which it's like a 3.5 to 4 hour drive for me. So like it's kind of a long day if I do it as just a one day thing. But I don't have all the free time in the world, so I like them.
Yeah.
I like one day shows. There is a local show that day in our area, and Brian's from the Philadelphia area too. It's ZoloCon. It's more of a toy show though than it is a comic book show, and it's actually on the street that I used to live on, so it's only about 15 minutes from my current house. So it's like, do I want to go to ZoloCon, which is way less fun and more toy oriented, or do I want to go all the way up to Terrificon? Paul Bond, who's down in the chat right there, is actually setting up at ZoloCon this year, so kind of gives me incentive to go to that one. But I'm still thinking about Terrificon as a day trip.
That sounds like fun. I've had a tough time these days breaking away and heading out to cons as much as I want to. I think it's great meeting people that like in the chat here or what have you, or through the show or in the community. I do have to make it out, so maybe I don't know. I'll talk to Joe to see. Maybe Terrificon, actually, that's a possibility. But I am not quite sure. I do want to make it out to more. By the way, Caleb likes cheddar cheese on it. I didn't realize that. And then Niner Foxtrot, as somebody who lives in the Wisconsin Dairyland, this is true. So
all right,
look it up. It's really, yeah. Anyways, moving on from that, ask Joe, when will we hear any Beastie Boys from you?
Next time we get together for karaoke. Noah Broke Boy Comics was at the 3 Men in a Basement swap and came out to the after party where we did some karaoke. I wanted to do Beastie Boys, but I lost my voice after 3 songs. I started getting a little bit hoarse from being, out all day, working all day, and then, doing a couple songs. So next time, I promise I will do a Beastie Boys song.
I can't wait for that. Moving on here. That's a good question. From Alexia George. Do you have any books you sold that you regret losing?
All right. So this is an interesting one. Yes and no. The answer is really yes and no. I've sold things in the past out of necessity. I sold almost everything I owned, all my comics, when I bought my first house. I've sold stuff off to pay bills over the years, stuff that I didn't necessarily want to sell. But one thing that you have to remember, there's a term in investing and finance and money in general, and it's opportunity cost. And that's a really important thing to remember when you have a collectible hobby, is you have to weigh the balances. You have to kind of figure out what is best to do with your money at one time versus another. Back in 2019, when I was buying my first house, opportunity cost for me was sell your comics, have money for the house, home repairs, things that you want to improve. That was more beneficial to me. So do I regret selling some of those books? Yeah. I had a 9/8 Wolverine 1 signed by Frank Miller that I bought for like dirt cheap, like 10 years ago. And, do I miss that book? Yeah. But at the same time, I got a good amount of money for that book, way more than I paid for it. And I probably used it to make a mortgage payment or, do a repair on my house. So, there is regret. There's, man, I wish I had that still. But at the same time, if you're putting the money towards something else, even if that something else is buying more comics that you'd rather have, can there really be regret? Should there be regret? Probably not. So opportunity cost. Read about it. It's an important thing to kind of take into account when you're dealing with money in general.
Yeah. So Alexia, obviously I think you're getting at like sentimental, but I agree with Joe. If you're turning a comic over to get something else, like, I mean, a mortgage payment for the house that frees you up for a month, that's fantastic. Or even working towards that down payment for a house or a car or what have you. So I guess that's what you're talking about. Opportunity. What was the phrase?
It's called Opportunity Cost.
That's really okay. Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's really cool. But with that said, because I do appreciate experiences more than physical things at times. Like having a house to be able to share with loved ones is important to me. But again, with that said, I do regret one book I sold, and it was my first big boy back issue I ever got. G.I. Joe #1. I spent $20 for it.
Wow.
I've mentioned this before on the show. I absolutely regret selling that. I don't know how much I sold it for. It was in college. I thought I was just done with comic books. But man, it was like when I first saw it up there, because I was such a G.I. Joe fan, and it was like, oh, it's like I have to save $20 up to buy this thing. And so I regret selling that for sure. Not, and they're worth a lot of, good amount of money these days. Especially now you're gonna have a Transformers G.I. Joe movie. It was announced. So that's my answer to that. So that's a great question, Alexia. Anybody else in the chat? Let us know if you have regrets on anything you've sold. And finally, our last question of the night: the immortal Scruffy. Ask Joe and Jeff, what are your favorite Marvel and DC animated movies?
This is so easy, and they are two of the, in my opinion, two of the top 3 animated movies of all time. And that's saying a lot. And they're actually probably 2 of my top, I don't know, 20 or so movies of all time. Marvel is Into the Spider-Verse. Flawless film, absolutely perfect front to back. And even better than that, in my opinion, better than Into the Spider-Verse is Flashpoint Paradox.
Interesting.
The DC movie based on the Flashpoint storyline in the comics. If you haven't watched it, go freaking watch it. What are you doing?
Don't leave us. Wait till the end of the show, though, please.
Finish watching the canon and then go watch Flashpoint Paradox. It is perfect. It is a absolutely perfect movie. Barry Allen using the time force runs really fast and travels through time and accidentally screws with the timeline and has to figure things out in this new world that he is not used to. And things are very, very, very different. You're going to want to watch it.
That was good. That was a good one. But I have to say, okay, I will agree with you with Into the Spider-Verse.
I think that's obvious, yeah.
That was a film. It's rare these days, but that was a film that's like, I've never seen anything like this before. You felt like you were watching a comic book. The way the animation, I never seen animation like that before. I've never seen, and on top of that, it was a fantastic story. And I was skeptical that mainstream people would not pick up the idea of a multiverse, especially like that. And I was so thrilled to see that the success it had, and the critical success it had too. Just an amazing, amazing film. But I'm going to go with the Batman the Animated Series film with Dr. Freeze and cannot remember the title. Somebody please let us know in the Mask of the Phantasm.
Mask of the Phantasm.
Yeah, Dr. Plagueis. That was.
Oh yeah, Dr. Plagueis just said it in the chat.
Yeah, that was like honestly, that movie was awesome. So
that's up there for me for sure. That's got to be my top 10 animated movies, but Flashpoint Paradoxes.
Flashpoint was good. It was definitely good, but I can't.
I don't want to say any spoilers by mistake, so I'm going to not say anything about it. Just go watch it.
That's fair. All
right.
We'll
talk after the show about it.
All right. One more question that I don't know what's going on. I do know. Okay. So Brian Klotz, what housewarming gifts are you getting the judge for his move?
Well listen.
We keep him employed. As a judge. Like the retainer will pay him.
He's able to afford this new mansion that he bought. It's his third mansion. I mean, he's keeping his home that he had before, and he's just moving into a bigger one, and he's keeping the other one as a vacation home. And he also has a beach house that we did provide because his salary is very hefty. So I think that's enough of a gift that we gave.
It weighs us down. It keeps us in the red, Joe. It keeps us in the red. But we still continue to do the show. So yeah, he's got one of those things. The Iron Man, the the robot that puts the suit on Iron Man in the first movies or first couple movies. He has one that puts his judge robe on. It's like so ridiculous. It is the amount of money he's spending because of us. So yeah. All right. So right there. Wait, time out. All that money from the Canon. When do I get my first paycheck? Excuse us?
Josh, you're a correspondent, man. This is an unpaid internship.
Yeah, basically. Get back to work. Sit at the news desk, please. You got that red phone there for a reason. All right, and with that, it ends the segment we call Ask Joe and Jeff. That's right, Ask Joe. Sorry, Joe, I talked over you. Go for it.
You did. I'm really disappointed.
Please talk to me. Let's talk NPR voice. Go, Joe.
And Jeff.
And Jeff. And Joe, too. This is our NPR voice. We have another segment coming up before we end the show.
It's the best segment that we have. But, Jeff.
Yeah, go.
I'm thinking that you probably, as normal, forget what it's called. Do you need me to remind you here?
Yeah, that would be very helpful if you did, because I don't remember.
This right here, ladies and gentlemen, is the absolute best part of this comic book canon show. And, you know, as a massive comic book channel with, what do we got, 23 million viewers right now, this is the best of the best. This is top tier, S tier, if you will, God tier, if you really want to get specific. We are talking about a segment where you submit books. We check them out, share them with the community, and also do a little bit of judging on them as far as who is the winner for the week. Those winners get spit back out at you. You vote for your winner for the month, and then there is a winner for a book that we're going to show in a second. And this segment is called
Fresh from the comic shop, live from the pressing salon. That's right, Joe. I talked over you. We ask you each and every week. As Joe said, send me your fresh gets, and you never disappoint. On top of that, you can win. Well, on top of that, you are winning because you're sharing with the community, and you can win a wonderful, wonderful monthly prize, which once you win that monthly prize, it puts you into the finals for winning a yearly prize as well. So much fun to have that Canon Fresh from the Comic Shop tournament. We did not have our show last week, but we did take the submissions from last week, and we'll be showing them off this week. Here's the deal. This was quite interesting, Joe. We announced we're not having a show on a Saturday. We got like 2 submissions, and one of them is not eligible.
Oh, okay.
So, with that said, let's bring in our interim judge with some legal jargon, please. Josh, legal jargon, please.
Gentlemen, this is a little segment that we like to call Fresh from the Comic Book Shop.
Well, we went over this, didn't we?
You went over what?
That it's called Fresh from the Comic Shop. You said it, I said it. Now Josh has to say it.
Josh was backstage not paying attention. He didn't know he was getting called in right now.
Listen, I'm just trying to remind the people, just in case they forgot, Jeff. Look, it's fine.
All right, you're right. I apologize for.
So,
Jeff, are you saying someone won because they were the only submission? That's never happened before.
Yeah, actually. Well, there were 2 submissions. One of them was not eligible, so people held their books back to show them off. So, anyways, we're gonna get into it, but before we do, we ask that you submit and keep into account 3 criteria to be able to move into the semifinals where the community votes. Joe, I don't know how we're doing this anymore. Do you want to do it? Do you want me to do it? I don't know.
I actually, I'd like to give it a shot.
Josh,
I like to tell a story.
Now you're talking about you want the story, the 3rd criteria.
If,
So let's
okay, that's allowed.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. Jeff
so-
and I'll go over the first 2. I'll go over the first one, then I'll shoot it over to Jeff over here.
Okay.
We would like to see, first and foremost, a well-composed shot. We would like to see something that is aesthetically pleasing to the eye. We don't want to see your blurry comic book sitting on top of your old, dirty grandma's bed sheets. We don't want to see it on a disgusting floor with your foot halfway in the thing. By the way, people pay good money for feet pics, so you shouldn't be putting those out on the internet for free.
Nobody's buying that. They're saving money for comics here.
Right. We would like to see something that makes us say, wow, this picture looks awesome. Justin, aka Raising Elm, does a phenomenal job every week at putting an artistic touch on it, some lighting, some props, some cool perspectives. Jeff's favorite term, depth of field, which I don't even really know what that means. I just repeat it because Jeff says it all the time.
Sounds cool coming from
And
you,
it does sound cool. It does sound cool. Yeah, we want to show us something that looks good. Show us that you're proud of your work putting this picture together.
Have fun with it for sure. Another criteria we look for is a unique book. Unique book does not mean how much, Joe?
It doesn't mean that it's necessarily $30,000.
I was actually thinking $32,000 because of inflation, maybe. I don't know how that works, but yeah, that it doesn't have to be a super expensive book, but it could be one that we've never seen before. We see that a lot with Mark Lineker and a variety of others that do submit. Unique books can be something as simple as a sketch, a cover, or crazy signature. Maybe you have President Obama signing a book or something like that from a Spider-Man book. I don't know, but I don't know many people that have that. And think of it that way. Do other people really have this book? And a lot of times when you're looking for those unique books, you find them and you sit them in them here. Joe and I are like, oh, that's unique. And then the third piece of criteria from our interim judge, Josh, aka the Adam Schefter. Oh, comic book canon, please take it away.
Probably the last piece, and the one that I consider maybe the most important, is a well-told story. Pull up the heartstrings. Give us something, a story that's unique, or something that has to do with your childhood drama or trauma, depending on which one it is. So I have a story to tell. Now, you may notice, in my background, I have over here a Detective Comics issue number 71. Not the original, okay? It's a poster. I wish I had the original, but I don't have $32,000 to buy it. But this reminds me of a story back when Detective Comics 27 came out. My great-great-great-great-grandfather just came back from World War II. I remember when he saw on the rack a Detective Comics 27. He was flipping through it, reading it, didn't think nothing about it. Went home. He ended up kissing my great-great-great-great-grandmother, and then the picture is forever in the world history pictures, when the sailor is kissing the woman in New York City. Whatever that picture is called, you know what I mean? But if you zoom in on that picture, you may see a rolled up Detective Comics 27. So he went home, threw it in one of his dressers, forgot about it. 16 generations later, I came along. Now, you're probably wondering where this story is going. And the point is that my father's father passed that down to his son, 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 which was my father. And he, of course, passed it down to me. Now, by the time I ended up getting this Detective Comics 27, it was just two staples. Nothing more, nothing less.
It was two
and well, it deteriorated over time, gentlemen. We didn't have CGC back in the 1930s, I think it was, when Detective Comics 27 came out. But that's besides the point. So I remember, my dad's like, it's Christmas morning. My dad's like, Josh, I think it's time I pass this down to you. This has been in our family for generations. You're going to love this. And I'm like, what is it, Dad? And here I'm thinking I'm getting maybe a new Game Boy or a Nintendo 64 or something. Who knows, right? He's like, I have two rusty staples for you. And I'm like, okay. And he told me this story about how Detective Comics 27 was passed around. And my mind just blew. And I remember holding him and holding the staples and just knowing that for generations, a son's and father's love has come together. So that's my story.
That was
Amazing.
Really good.
Amazing.
Two staples from a Detective Comics 27 are in your possession, and it's very near and dear to your heart because it was passed down. Granted, it was passed down from probably your relatives that were from the 1800s.
I mean, well, look, time is really not a.
I got you. Yeah.
Time is whatever time is, Jeff.
But you all understand what Josh is getting at here, and what he's saying is pull at the heartstrings. And those two staples from Detective Comics number 27, the first appearance of Batman, are near and dear to his heart, and that pulled at our heartstrings. The fact that it was so generational and just passed down. So wonderful story, Josh. Thank you for that. Now, our interim judge is going to take the backstage and pay attention to some things, and we'll see you in a bit. Oops.
No, you did it wrong. You did it wrong.
That was fantastic. That was fantastic.
Jeff did it wrong, so I kicked him off the show. I own things now, so we're going to get into Fresh from the Comic Shop. But you know what? I got to bring Jeff back on because I'm really bad at doing all the production things, like putting the stuff up on the screen. So Jeff's back. We're going to move him to his spot.
No big whoop. No big whoop. I don't take offense to that anymore. People just shut me out all the time now.
It's because you're from Delaware, dude.
Hey, don't make fun of Delaware. Josh, tell him.
Josh is from Delaware too. I'm the only real Pennsylvania guy here.
All right, let's get to it. This is getting ridiculous. So, before we get into the submissions, before we get into the submissions, we got some things to talk about because we had a semifinals here, and as we all know, Raising Elm was waiting for that person to battle against. That person was Kaboom Comics. So the semifinals was it was Josh versus Kaboom. Sorry, Josh. And then the finals was Kaboom versus Raising Elm. Kaboom had 69% of the vote, which was 30 votes over Raising Elm. Kaboom Comics is the winner with this Wolverine setup, and you win the May book of the month. Why do I not have that here? That is making me really angry. But it's that
awesome Hulk book.
I don't know. Hold on. I got you right now, Joe. Stretch a little bit. Give me a little song.
I'm pulling it up on my phone. Are you doing it?
No. I got it. Where the hell? Oh, there it is. Right here, everybody.
I'm just dancing for everyone.
I'm just dancing alone. Yeah, I'm in the corner. This beautiful book goes to you, Kaboom Comics. Well done. You are now in the running for the yearly book. We're going to have that competition next February to coincide with March Madness because it is madness. Now, before we get into the, let's recap here. Who do we have here for our winners here for the year? We have, who is that? Mike Hags. We have Dr. Plagueis. We have MON Comics, Mon Comics, and we have Nukes. And now we can say we have Kaboom Comics as well. So moving on. Here is the wonderful, wonderful June book of the month. And my God, I love it. It's Marvel 1000, the Mark Brooks 40s cover. Look at that gorgeous Captain America cover for Marvel Comics, the old school trade there. Joe, this book is amazing. And the optional custom labels, which we didn't even get into our sponsors, Jiminy Christmas. That is incredible indeed. So by the way, thank you so much to EGS. Y'all are going to win a monthly EGS slab comic provided by Spider Dude Comics. EGS Comics and Spider Dude, the links are down below, but EGS right here. Save 5% off your EGS order using the code CANON5, optional custom labels, free grader notes, fast turnaround times, EGScomicsgrading.com. Please give them a follow, like, subscribe, etc., etc. They make Fresh from the Comic Shop so special. And I'll be honest, I love their services. For books you're going to keep and display, EGS is absolutely the way to go. Let's get into it, though. Danny and Tessa, they submitted right here. Jesus, what is going on here? Where is it, Joe?
I don't know, man.
And I don't know. Hags, it's not there.
You're the producer, man.
This is not working out too well, everybody. But we got. This is really annoying, actually. There's Danny and Tessa. We're gonna open that up right there. Danny and Tessa. Look at this wonderful submission right here. Yet another book off my list of keys to pick up in 2024 Batman 656 is a beautiful addition to the personal collection. The first full appearance of Damian Wayne is a great issue to pick up if you collect Robin Keys. I remember when the Son of Batman animated film was released and how excited I was to finally buy my Blu-ray copy. Damian Wayne is probably my third favorite Robin under Dick Grayson and Jason Todd. Something about a young boy raised to be the ultimate assassin from birth is so interesting to me. Growing up due to a rough childhood, I was much like Damian, angry, reckless, impulsive. I still am at times, but I've learned to grow and be more patient. I'm still learning, as a matter of fact. I hope to continue to learn and grow over the next few years. I want to give my fiance the life she deserves without being mentally unstable. Much love to the community, and here's to many more great Fresh from the Comic Shop submissions. And this is a great submission indeed. Love what you did here, Danny and Tessa. If Tessa had anything to do with that, I am not quite sure about that. Moving on. This one is not eligible, Joe. This one right here, but it's special. It's fun. By the way, like and subscribe and pay attention to Fresh from the Comic Shop because you win monthly prizes and a yearly prize. Look at this, guys, everybody. This is the winner here from, what was it, April, May? I can't remember. April, probably. Just got this in the mail. I won it in January from Fresh from the Comic Shop. I guess it was January. From Fresh from the Comic Shop. And this is a beauty. One of my favorite artists, Greg Capullo, whose work I absolutely love. Joker looks crazy on this cover. Special thanks to EGS Comics, one of our sponsors, for sponsoring the segment. And I have to say, the slabs are incredible. From the slab itself to the custom label. I'll definitely be sending a few books to get slabs, and I shared with the people in the community how dope these slabs really are. Shout out to the Canon crew and the rest of the peeps. Respect, comic fan. Much love to you all who make this hobby fun to be a part of. I love seeing this, Joe. And you and I have talked about the actual slab. Their proprietary slabs are just phenomenal. They feel good in the hand. I think they're better than CGC.
Yeah, they just look so cool. I have an order going out soon. I've been very slow at pressing, so it's coming. Yeah. It's coming, and we're going to show them off on the show for sure.
Okay, so I have to say, though, right there, that is it for the submissions last week. So
for last week's submissions, we still have this week to go.
What happened? No, not this week. No, but what happened is again, we canceled the show, so people didn't submit. So good for Danny and Tessa. They still submitted. And they are moving on to the semifinals. Danny and Tessa, congratulations to that. Obviously, Mike Haggs, Mike Haggs is not eligible because he's already won. And obviously, this is a book that he's won, so that really would not make any sense. So, interim judge, are we good with that?
Josh.
I like it. It makes sense. I mean, who else can we get? Nobody else.
He's got all the legal jargon. He's actually right there looking at his statement.
No, I'm watching the whole thing. No, look, it makes. I mean, nobody. I'm actually looking to see because I thought I submitted one for last week's show, but I must not have. I'm looking up right now.
Well, if you can find it, please alert us in the private chat. We will get it up.
Yeah, but like I said, I mean, it makes sense. Nobody else submitted. Well, we did have a submission, but they're not eligible, and they already won. So.
And you, sir, you have a submission this week, and you are not eligible either because you are the judge. That would be very unfair.
That's fine. At least, just show it off. Good content.
We are going to show it off for sure. Okay, moving on. Joseph, why don't you show your first fresh scan of the week?
Yeah. So y'all know me. If you watch this show at all, you know I'm a massive fan of The Crow. Have been since I was a kid. First with the movie, that's how I got introduced, and then eventually got into the comic book side of it. I hate to say this, I have not read every Crow comic, and there's not too many of them, so it's not hard to actually collect all of them. This was one that I was missing, and I actually got the full set here. This is The Crow Wild Justice, which, take a look at this. This version of The Crow, which is Michael Corby is his name, is very similar in physical appearance to the Bill Skarsgård version that is going to be in 100%. the new movie. Yeah, look at this. We got short hair. We've got tattoos. We've got this like skinny, almost like a emaciated rock star figure here that he has. Almost looks like
cover, man.
Looks like what's his face? Stone Temple Pilots, Scott Whalen.
Oh, Scott Whelan. Yeah.
Yeah. It literally reminds me of him with more tattoos.
Which is interesting because that song from the first Crow soundtrack
was a Stone Temple Pilots song.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
wonder if that was intentional. Anyway, got these from Popachilli Town. He recently picked up a collection, and it had all 3 books. The second one's in the middle, but it's got the full run here of Crow Wild Justice. I have not yet read it, but I definitely plan on reading it very, very soon.
That's very cool. I like that pickup right there, especially the maybe unintentional nod to Scott Whelan and the fact that it looks like, so yeah. All right, moving on. Who do we have next, Joe? Let me tell you who we have next. We have a guy by the name of, let me just double check, make sure I'm not skipping anybody. Comic Toby is in the house. Comic Toby. Where are you, buddy? Where is your submission? There's Comic Toby. Here we go. Comic Toby, my pick of the week of June 5th. New comic book day is Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars number 6. Facsimile. 1 in 25, Salvador LaRocca variant. Maybe Taylor Swift will be under the mask in the MCU. Get it? Heck, I don't know. Nobody knows, actually, for sure, until we see what happens when Deadpool and Wolverine come out. But good pickup right there. By the way, I do not have any fresh gets of the week. Don't hate on me. I've been very busy. Okay, here we go. Next up, we have, who do we have? Nori Jordan, not eligible, I don't believe. Right? Let me just double check.
Did he win? No, he didn't win.
Oh, Nori Jordan is eligible. My bad. A long time ago, I received a message from my friend Justin, aka Raising Elm Comics, that said, "I bet you don't have this Bullseye book." My arrogance made me assume I already had the Dark Reign, the List, number 1, the 1 in 100 cover, but Justin was correct. This book is hard to find, but after some patience, I finally added this book to my collection. It is a simple cover, but represents Bullseye in all his glory. Thank you, Justin, for bringing this to my attention, for bringing this beautiful book to my attention. A true friend is always looking to improve the collection of others. This cover is on the short list of greatest Bullseye covers of all time. Take care, everyone. That cover is awesome. Simple, but amazing. I love that. I love that cover. 100%. Good work there, Nori. Next up, we have Nukes Comics. And it's a fresh from the mystery box. Interesting. Punisher 2. Frank finds himself in a South American jungle looking to destroy the general's operation. Will he and those around him survive? I picked this up in a Journos mystery box. Good old Journos, Christopher. Everybody give him a shout. Good stuff indeed. Joseph, second fresh get of the week.
Ooh, okay. So this, I bought a collection this week. It was very local to me. The person had posted a box of old comics, and she kind of knew what she had. She pulled out the first appearance of Rogue, and that was like that was the highlight. That was the best book, and she had a price on it that it was a little high for what the rest was, because the rest was just bulk stuff. And I ended up making an offer. Like I said, she was really local. I'm talking like less than 10 minutes from me. So I went over and I was like, hey, I'm interested. I'd like to pay this much. And we ended up, did a little haggling. I came up a little bit and I bought the box. I got home, and at the bottom of the box, the very last book in the box, which I was surprised to see it because it wasn't in any of the picture. It doesn't have a ton of value, but it was a nice little surprise add-on to this little collection, was Batman Beyond. Now, this is the free comic book day, no UPC code. This was printed a couple months after the book was initially released. I think, if I remember correctly, the original version came out in April, and then this is dated June of 1999, and it doesn't have the UPC code because it was a free comic book day book, which I think was actually prior to like free comic book day really being a thing.
Interesting.
But still places did it. So this was a free giveaway to get people into, Batman Beyond. Probably kids at the time, 1999. That's when this show was coming out. It was probably kind of a dual marketing tool. Let's get kids into the show. Let's also get, kids into comics that are into the show. So pretty cool. First appearance, Terry McGinnis, and a classic. I have one in my personal collection already. So this one will be up for grabs at some point soon. And always look out for this book because it does have multiple different versions. There's the direct edition, the newsstand, the second printing, the third printing, this one, and the Six Flags edition.
Wow. Okay.
Those are all from 1999 too. They're all like original printings, not like reprints or anything.
Out of all those, which is the one that's like hardest to find?
The newsstand is the most valuable, then the direct edition, and then the third printing, and then the other ones are pretty subsequently, like the Six Flags and this one are pretty similar.
Interesting. It's still a great pickup. Love Batman Beyond. The idea behind Batman Beyond, it's just, I love it. Love to see it.
Great show.
Love to see that on the big screen as well. Who do we have next? We have Mark Leneker with not a grail, but a book that Mark Leneker has been looking for. I'm not happy here, Joe. What is going on? I swear I got it right now. We're good. But this is not fun right here doing this. Here it is, guys. Sorry about the delay. Mark Leneker, Superman 233. From 1971, a book that was on my list for 2024. All-time classic Neil Adams cover has Supes busting out into the Bronze Age, while the interior has Clark Kent stumbling into his TV news career. This issue starts a strange year-long plot involving a sand Superman from the Quarm dimension. Those are fun facts right there, but the cover is so iconic. That cover is just iconic and gorgeous. That's
honestly, that is the kind of the quintessential Neil Adams Superman cover, where his 251, his Joker cover is his quintessential Batman cover. This is definitely the quintessential Neil Adams Superman.
I'll tell you what, Josh had a Neil Adams Superman cover a few maybe weeks ago that had him. I think it was like a glow, and it was a Neil Adams cover. We'll have Josh on and explain that, but that's another great Neil Adams cover too. So Mark Leneker, love it, absolutely love it. Raising Elm Comics, we got part 1 and part 2 for Raising Elm right here. Here we go. Raising Elm, howdy comic fam, Jeff and Joe. I know you don't want pictures of our fresh comics on dirty bed sheets. These are clean, by the way. But I have a good yawn. I should have done. Reason. We have a toddler who likes to keep us on our toes. Excuse me. I'm just coughing over here. At the end of a busy day, I was all curled up with a really good book. A one-shot issue of Doctor Strange, Nexus of Nightmares. In this issue, Baron Mordo is trying to bring nightmares into our realm by using the Darkhold. Thanks to Doctor Strange, I can now rest easy knowing our world is safe once again from the clutches of nightmare. Good night, all. Much love, comic fam. And here is a picture of the book. I like what he's done here. Very clever. It's kind of a Easter egg to the canon in a way.
Yeah.
We don't want them on your dirty bed sheets, but those are clean bed sheets.
Clean bed sheets.
It looks like the bed is made there. Is that possible?
It looks like a nice bed. Go back to the picture with him. He's got
really
that nice
headboard. What's that headrest? He's got a really nice. It looks comfortable. Like you could almost use that as a pillow. So
I might have to go have a sleepover at Raising Elm.
Josh, tell us more about your bed. Would you let Joe and I and you and your wife and your toddler sleep in the same bed? Is that weird?
I'll pile in there. I'll bring my dog too.
For sure. Wait a minute. What? Josh says there's a ghost in the background.
Where?
I don't know. Well, Josh, what are you talking about? What's going on?
So if you look in the background when he's sleeping, can you see the figure coming after him?
That's crazy.
You can't. Can you guys not see that?
I'm not seeing it. I see like the headrest, the headboard with
look at the headboard. If you look at it, I think he made it look at it. It looks like a person trying to reach out and grab him.
Justin, you have to confirm this because that's huge. If so, like,
Josh, I think you're using your imagination here.
Are you kidding me? There's no way. Hold on. There's no way. I'm gonna pull that up. You guys cannot see that. Can anybody else in the chat confirm if they can see that or not? Look at it closely. I'm telling you, Jeff. I'm 100%.
Go back. Put it back up. Put it back up.
Jeff, look at it.
I mean, I'm seeing it now. Okay. So the darker part is the bottom of the head, and then there's a hand on each side. One like slightly right and above his head, and the one
Oh.
directly left of his. I do see this now.
Okay, yeah, okay. I just
Justin, you have to tell us something here, man, because that's a big deal
Was that
in terms of
intentional?
how creative that picture is.
The
Justin,
ghost
yeah,
has a
here.
beard. Does the
wait a
ghost
minute.
have
Now
a
he
beard?
may not even know that. That may not even be an edit. Like that could be a real ghost. Yeah.
Interesting.
You guys, I'm surprised you didn't catch that.
I saw
Oh
these
my
marks.
God.
It looked like he sometimes rests his head back there when he's sitting up. I don't know.
Yeah, Jeff.
I
It
don't
looks
know.
like a head and the arms are grabbed. It's like the one of
I
the
see
Freddy
it.
Krueger movies. Look
I
at it.
agree. And we're gonna have to take that into account.
Or like Han Solo and Carbonite.
Yeah, you're right about that for sure. And if you play the Beatles record backwards, I think they're praising the
Hey.
devil.
Chill, bro.
Oh, no? Okay. No, I'm sorry. That was terrible. Moving on. We got
Look at the comments.
Super Crispy Comics. Where are you, Super Crispy? Oh my gosh. Joe, just show us your there's Super Crispy. We got it right here.
Yeah, man.
This week's Fresh from the Comic Shop is this sweet sketch cover done by my good friend Kaboom Comics. One of my first Fresh from the Comic Shops was when I snagged my Thor 337 off Luis, and he had traded me a badass painting of Beta Ray Bill for a Wolverine wallet. Good times, and we've been friends ever since. This is again, this right here is pretty unique. Look at that sketch right there.
That looks awesome. So Kaboom drew this.
That's incredible. Kaboom,
Kaboom.
please confirm.
I love this, man. This is
That is
awesome.
really cool. Really, really cool. Well done, everybody, right there involved. Joe, let's see your third fresh get of the week.
So third fresh get of the week right here. This is a book I actually mentioned earlier today. This is a classic Batman storyline, The Dark Knight Returns by Frank Miller. And not only is this graded at a pretty high 9.4 white pages, it is also a yellow label signed by Frank Miller right there on the cover. And it's a nice looking Frank Miller signature too. His signature sometimes is very sloppy. This is a very nicely put together one. I've seen some significantly worse ones than that. But yeah, Dark Knight Returns, signed by Miller. Great book. This one is not one that I'm keeping. That one is up for grabs right now. But definitely a cool book that you don't come across too often.
No, for sure. That's really nice looking. By the way, Kaboom did sketch that.
That's
Nice.
amazing.
That's really cool because that's the first time we've had a submission from somebody who sketched something in the community. So yes. And Dan, he is the interim judge, by the way, interim judge. Interesting. There's a short video on my Instagram, a small time.
Ooh.
Wow, that's
All
outstanding.
right, check that out.
All right, and finally, we have our interim judge. We'll keep you up here for your submission right here. Josh's Comics, Hulk, Future Imperfect, #2, first cover appearance of Maestro. Marvel loves the idea of future versions of different characters. This is weird that I'm reading this and Josh is here. Future versions of different characters. Here we have the first cover appearance of Maestro, a future version of Hulk, who single-handedly can beat the Avengers. I hope one day Marvel can do right by Hulk, and maybe we will get to see Maestro as well one day. I do believe you mean on the big screen. Yeah, this is a great read. Those 2 issues are a great read, and even the series as well that came out a few years ago. I really like that. So great job again, Josh. Again, I really like the submission right there. Maestro, he is kind of badass. So
Looks
yeah,
kind of like me with the shirt on.
yeah,
Without
sure.
the
I
shirt.
mean,
yeah.
right now, obviously, the tie and the tank top are hiding your best features. You know what I mean? Yeah, for sure, absolutely. But it's remarkable how much Maestro looks like you. All right, so there we have it. We have Danny and Tessa moving on to the semifinals. Who will they be battling against? We have our interim judge, Josh. Please raise your hand so we know who you are.
Hand, just one.
One hand.
Okay.
Somebody, yes. Pledge allegiance. Yeah. So, Joe, there are two that stick out to me right now, and
All right, hit me with your first one.
I'm pretty sure because if this is intentional, this is mind blowing. The first one is Raising Elm, with what we've all noticed here.
Yeah, this was one of the ones that I was thinking as well.
Josh, do you have your hand raised for a question?
I thought I was supposed to keep my hand raised.
No, keep it down,
okay.
Josh. Oh my God! Honestly, this is getting worse. Okay, Joe, give me your. How many do you have, though, Joe?
I that one and one other one.
Just tell me what the other one is.
I love. Oh, actually, wait. Is Nori Jordan? Nori Jordan is eligible.
Yes,
right?
Nori Jordan is eligible.
It's Nori Jordan with the awesome bullseye.
Mm-hmm.
You know, modern books sometimes fly under the radar as far as like really awesome covers, and this is one that I don't remember ever seeing.
I've never seen this. Yeah, for sure.
And then we got this bullseye in the background, and you know, I love that. Specifically, the thing that I love about this book, this submission rather, is more the story. It was recommended by another member of the community, which I think was Raising Elm, who is the other person that we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that, you know, everyone knows Nori Jordan, if you watch this show, he is a huge Thunderbolts fan and a huge Bullseye fan specifically. And to be able to point out a book that he didn't know existed, I think that's really cool.
Very cool.
Shout out to Justin as well here. Those are my top two. Did you have, was that your other one?
No.
Oh,
this one, I think it's a great story and it's unique.
Yeah.
And that's this one right here.
Oh, that's another one with the community, another member of the community as well.
And I'm going to say right now, this is the one that I'm leaning towards for sure. No doubt about it. I think it's special it checks two boxes of the three criteria we're looking for. I mean, it's a good shot. Don't get me wrong. I think Super Crispy has done better with their shot and how they've presented some things, because they definitely have knowledge of depth of field. But but this is unique, and it's a great story. We talk about stories, and you know we make a lot of fun about a book you lost and you become an adult and buy it. But this is another great story of a community member creating this unique book for another community member. So I'm blown away by that.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. You may have sold me on this one. I don't think I was thinking about it properly. I think that you really you shed some light. You got me there with this one. It's the heartstrings. It's a good story. You know, community building, all that stuff. It is certainly unique. It's original art. You know, we've always said that that's like one of the most unique things you can have with the comic, and it looks awesome.
That's what I'm saying. You know, not only is it original art, but it's freaking a great piece right there that Kaboom did. I had no idea. And I know Kaboom said that they sent the video. I don't know. Maybe we just didn't take it in and understood what was going on. I mean,
no, I think just send it now, maybe. 23
million people watch us, everybody. You know, we get a ton of, emails and DMs and things like that. It gets out of hand. But
yeah,
this is amazing.
I am going to... I'm actually, you've convinced me. I think that just discussing that one puts that one on top for me too.
So Judge, I think it's unanimous. Am I right?
I mean, it sounds like to me, but I mean, we also got to think about one other book that's possibly should be mentioned.
Which one's that?
Mayan.
Oh, right. So, well, you have the final say. You're the judge. Wait, so you're saying you think that this should move on to the semifinals?
I mean, this is the way I see it. I mean, that picture is a 1-for-1 photo of me. I mean, it's a great story. It's just me without a shirt. The beard's there. I mean, it pulls at the heartstrings.
Okay, so here's the deal. Joe and I nominate the ones, and then if there's a disagreement, the judge... We've never had an instance where the judge abuses his or her power. And right now that's happening, but we really can't do anything about it, can we, Joe?
I can do something about it.
What's that? Oh, right. Yeah, I don't know if it's a good idea. I don't know if it's a good idea to have that judge back again. He'll be back for the news next week. But congratulations, supercrispy.comics. You are moving on to the finals to battle against Danny and Tessa. And Kaboom, fantastic job. Congratulations to you as well, Kaboom, for winning the May book of the month. I really don't want to get into politics, but there was something funny said there.
I saw that.
Yeah. Oh, wow. The judge. Oh, wow. This will be Josh's last appearance as deputy judge. Yeah, he was abusing his power right there for sure. Super Crispy moving on. Congratulations. What a show, everybody. What a show on a Sunday. We're back. We appreciate you all. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. We want you back, come back for more. And, the millions of people continue to grow that watch this show. And it's so much fun to see that. I appreciate you all. The show gives me the feels because sometimes during the week you got your ups and downs in life, right? You got your ups and downs in life. Life beats you down at times, but this show, it can pick you up. It really can. And I know we're a little bit biased, but I'll be honest, it's got me through some stuff. But that's all I'll say about that. I appreciate every one of you that watches, that comments, that participates in all the things we have going on. We may have some new things happening as well with some other things, Joe. You stopped by headquarters recently, so we're going to talk about that. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
But yeah, so Joe, just give us the final send-offs of this episode 185. Holy cow, we totally forgot episode 185. Oh my God, is our featured issue is Spawn 185. This issue marks the new creative team. With Tom McFarlane returning to writing duties, collaborating with artists Will Sportacio and Brian Holguin. Also it's the first appearance of Jim Dowling, who later becomes Spawn, and it's the death of Al Simmons, the original Spawn. So there we go. Forgot to do that. Wow, that's terrible. Apologize for that. Joe, send us off in the only way we can for this canon episode 185.
Yeah, man, we're moving through these numbers. We're moving through this year. I feel like everything is going fast. I work in my regular job. I work very closely with teachers, and it's the end of the school year this year, so everything is chaotic. This time of the year, but yeah. I mean, I hope everyone has a great start to the summer. Happy Pride Month for all of you who may celebrate. I missed, unfortunately, they decided to book Philadelphia Comic-Con on the same day as the Pride Parade this year. So I did miss the Pride Parade.
But that must have been where were Philly Comic-Con?
They're not near each other.
Okay.
So it wasn't crazy crowded or anything. But yeah, anyway, awesome time here on the Canon as always. Shout out to our deputy judge, who will not be back as deputy judge, but he will be back as a correspondent. That was him for 3 seconds. And thank you all for hanging out. Always much appreciated. Like Jeff and I have said many times, this is kind of our therapy. We both work 9 to 5s. I do the whole comic thing. Jeff's got a kid, and we've got other things going on in our life, but we get to sit down for 2 hours, talk to the community about comic books, do some awesome segments and stuff like that, and have some fun. And thank you all for being here.
Absolutely. And we get to laugh at each other too. So before we do our official end, we're going to show you some, but until then, till next week, be good to yourself, be good to others. Peace.